What is up? My name is George, the Sports Freak. So obviously a couple of weeks ago, the NFL draft happened, and it's already people are talking about the 2021 NFL draft. And the presumptive preseason favorite to be the number one pick is Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from the Clemson Tigers. Trevor Lawrence, he was in high school, he was one of the best prospects, or considered one of the best prospects ever to come out of high school. He was a 5-star recruit on every single level, every single scouting site, Scout, Rivals, 247 Sports, ESPN. He was a 5-star, number one prospect. And he led Clemson to the national championship his freshman year where he won it. And then his sophomore year, he led them back there and they lost to Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers. And so with this, people are talking about the Patriots potentially tanking for Trevor Lawrence. A lot of mock drafts have the Patriots taking Trevor Lawrence. I do not believe that the Patriots are going to suck enough to be in contention for Trevor Lawrence, the new hashtag tank for Trevor. And I think that's also a slap in the face of Bill Belichick that people are even considering the fact that the Patriots would actually get the number one pick and that Bill Belichick's just going to be like, yeah, I lost Tom Brady this year. Now I'm just going to suck and prove all the people who said that it's because of Tom Brady that I got 6 rings, you know. And specifically with the Patriots, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to go out there and tell his franchise and just be like, yo, we're going to get the number one pick. And in most cases, franchises don't typically tank for a player, except maybe in the case of the Dolphins, but that was an organizational tank. The head office was tanking, not the head coaches, not the whole coaching staff. As I said before, the Patriots, people are saying, like, writing them off, that they're going to suck. You know, they could finish 3rd or 4th, you know, in the AFC. It's the Bills. The Bills are the favorites. The Bills are going to win. I'm not surprised if the Patriots actually could easily win this division as they normally do. The last time that Bill Belichick finished with a losing record as a head coach was back in 2000, over 20 years ago. That was, they were 5-11. And just comparing that, 5-11, do you think you could typically get the first pick in the draft as a 5-11 record? Not necessarily. I know the Jets a couple years ago, they were 5-11. Did they have the first pick? No. And they were trying to get a quarterback, obviously, and they took Sam Darnold. That's who I think they had the 5th or 6th pick, and they had to trade up to the 3rd pick to actually get Sam Darnold. So even if the Patriots somehow miraculously finished 5-11, they still would have to trade up or trade the house to get that number one pick. And I don't think whatever franchise finishes first is going to want to pass on the opportunity to take Trevor Lawrence. And the last time that the Patriots even missed the playoffs was back in 2008. That too, they were 11-5. So it's not like Patriots are just going to fall off a cliff. The last, like I said before, it was over a decade ago when the last time they missed the playoffs. Talking about that, the defense, the Patriots defense just go down the drain. The Patriots defense, you know, they kind of forget that the defense is there still. It's still an elite defense. It was one of the best defenses in the NFL last season. Still have Stephon Gilmore, Devin McCourtney, Patrick Chung, Jason McCourty, Dante Hightower, a bunch of studs on the defensive line. You know, I totally get that they lost Kyle Van Noy to free agency, who now signed with the Miami Dolphins, but they still have playmakers and they have a lot of depth on the field. Offensively, I know people talk about Tom Brady last year. He didn't have any weapons. They had a big struggle. They were struggling. That offensive never gelled properly. They took N'Keal Harry in the first round of last year's draft. He was supposed to be their, you know, the big guy that they had, but he had an injury-filled season, so he was never able to fully develop properly. He showed kind of some flashes here and there, but he wasn't quite ready yet. They were able to get Mohamed Sanu late in the season, trading with the Falcons, but Mohamed Sanu never seemed to finally fully function yet. I think an off-season and sort of gelling and understanding the whole grasp of the offense that Josh McDaniels is running will fully allow him to take a further step within the Patriots organization. And they were able to get Marquise Lee, wide receiver from Jacksonville Jaguars, who, yeah, he had a couple of, the past couple of seasons have been filled with injuries, but before that, he was actually having breakout seasons. He was showing a lot of flashes, a lot of potential, and I believe that the Patriots can get the best out of this guy. So it's not like their wide receiving core is all of a sudden just going to drop off the edge. They did address some of the issues that they're at. People talking about they didn't do anything of that, but they actually did. They did go out and sign some free agents as well besides that, and people forget they have Sony Michel, who is one of the top running backs in his rookie year. He had a great rookie year. Obviously, he was part of the team that won the Super Bowl. So it's not like they're having a huge major drop-off in what's happening. And they still have James White. People don't remember James White. He was there when the amazing comeback against the Falcons. So as I said before, this isn't like something that's just going to fall off offensively for the Patriots. And they have still one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. David Andrews, their center, who was injured all of last season, he is back. That is a major key point in the offensive line. So as I said before, the offensive line is going to be great, as it normally is. And it doesn't matter who's behind there. They're going to have a lot of time in the pocket. And then they have all these wide receivers that, Julian Edelman, obviously, he's the major thing he led the league in drops last year, but he happened to be their top target last year. So all end with N'Keal Harry, full offseason, healthy back, Marquise Lee, Mohamed Sanu, all these guys understand the offense, understand each other, get chemistry with whoever the quarterback is. Everything can be actually really bright for them. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. I know not a sexy name-filled draft, but they got playmakers that they needed, that they wanted, that they felt that they needed. They got playmakers in the draft that they can develop and help them in the long term. I know they took Kyle Duggar, safety from Ryan. I've never heard of Lenore Ryan. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing the name right, but obviously, that's a guy that they think they can develop. Josh Uche, the linebacker from Michigan, they got in the second round as well. And then they got Anthony Jennings, who's actually, people don't realize, he's actually a really good player, because I'm an Alabama fan, so I watched this guy. He's actually one of the rare good players on Alabama's defense last year. Another under-the-radar guy who's actually, I think he's going to play up really well with Dante Hightower, and they're going to have a stud season. He's going to be one of those elite players we're going to talk about in the years to come. And obviously, they did address the tight end issue that they had. They took Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, 2 tight ends. So I know since Gronk left, they seem to have that issue. But that issue, in my opinion, now is being fulfilled. They're going to develop these guys and turn them into great players. And obviously, they did cut Gostkowski, but they took the kicker from Marshall, is actually, I think, the best kicker coming out of college. And then they got a guard, a tackle, a linebacker, and a center. And all of those guys are depth positions. They're going to build them up, develop them, and then, when the contracts start to play an issue and the starters that they have right now, these guys are going to be ready, developed, and able to step in and fill those roles. That's the Patriot way, to get these guys, late in the round, cheap or whatever, and just develop them. That's what Bill Belichick and his coaching staff do. They develop these players. They make them better and better and better. And that's kind of the whole thing, the mentality that they've always had. People kind of just write them off because they don't, oh, Tom Brady's leaving. Oh, he didn't have any help. They're addressing those issues. It's not like they're gonna fall off the edge. They're just gonna suck so bad. They're tanking for Trevor Lawrence. They didn't do any help. They didn't do anything. They did. And obviously, most likely, the quarterback for next season is Jarrett Stidham, who they took in last year in the 4th round. A lot of people, are talking about Jarrett Stidham and like, who is this guy? He came on for one play. He got yanked by Bill Belichick because he threw a pick 6. What quarterback goes in when they're blowing out an opponent, gets yanked immediately afterwards? Yeah, he threw an interception. It wasn't a pretty interception. He overthrew a simple check down, but I'd be more worried if he threw it into double or triple coverage where there's no wide receiver. He just overthrew it, maybe some nerves or something. This guy's got a lot of potential. His preseason was absolutely outstanding for a rookie quarterback. I was shocked when I saw the guy. I was really impressed with him. And another thing that people don't address is his athleticism. Jarrett Stidham is a very athletic quarterback. He can run, he can extend plays, which is so key in today's game. Coming out of high school, people don't realize this. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school by scouts and 247 Sports. ESPN and Rivals have him a 4-star, but he was one of the top dual threat quarterbacks coming out of high school. So this isn't some this is some crappy, prospect, he has nothing to know. No, he's a touted potential. Like, he's got a lot of potential. He committed to Baylor where, he played some games his freshman year, but then their whole scandal happened with Art Briles. He then goes to the JUCO route and then transfers to Auburn, where he had an outstanding redshirt sophomore season that almost led them to the playoffs, but they lost to Georgia. But it was really like a season that you weren't expecting. And coming after that season, there was a lot of talk about, hey, this guy has a better season next year. He could be a potentially first-round pick. He can get into that conversation. Obviously, that did not happen. The junior year was disappointing, and he slipped to the 4th round. in a lot of those games that year, he kind of had a panic moment. He was panicking a lot. If you go watch the film in Auburn as junior, he had these panic moments. I do believe, though, sitting under Tom Brady this past season and learning really helped him. Because, I mean, who else would you want your quarterback to sit and learn under than Tom Brady? That is the GOAT right there. You got to learn. You got to soak in all the information, how this guy how he prepares for games each week, you know, how he works, the work ethic. You know, he got to learn. I think he is more than capable enough of taking over as Tom Brady's successor. Like I said before, this guy has a lot of potential. I think people just sort of they see the name, they don't actually do the research and watch this guy, the film, and see the potential that this guy has. I believe they think Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick think they've got something special. I know Bill Belichick, he did say, you know, it just draft and go out the way they planned, you know. Not drafting a quarterback was not by design, he said. Obviously, they did have plans. They did want to draft a quarterback. I do think they were interested in probably taking Tua if he fell to the later in the rounds, but they saw that he wasn't, and they just decided not to take a quarterback. And then maybe later in the round, they're thinking, if this guy's available, we will take him. But the guy wasn't available, and they were like, we're obviously not worried, because they have there's something with Jarrett Stidham that they must really like that gives them confidence going forward. They did sign some free agent quarterbacks, but I believe they're going all in with Jarrett Stidham. I do think there's just something we guys, you know, have not seen behind the scenes, that they're really impressed with Stidham and has impressed Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. And that being said, I do not expect there to be this huge mountain drop-off that's going to put him in place for Trevor Lawrence. Any people putting mock drafts, with Trevor Lawrence going to the Patriots, I think it's greatly false and disrespectful to Bill Belichick. I don't think they could suck, because they still have a talented defense. They have playmakers on offense that are coming together. They have a great offensive line, which people kind of forget. They addressed the tight end issue in the draft, which seemed like taking 2 tight ends seemed to, in my opinion, address, and they can develop and just get better all well around. So don't expect the Patriots anytime to be in contention for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, which, you know, if you think that is the case, let me know down below in the comments, and why. Give me a good explanation why, because I do really want to know. I've seen people's kind of comments. I think people need to first look at all the rosters, depth chart, everything, and see who they have, what's going on. This isn't something that's just, I don't think they'll just, we're going to suck all of a sudden. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think down below. If you think, how do you think Jarrett Stidham's going to do? You know, and obviously not having a preseason or the whole training camp with the whole situation going right now is going to affect what's going to happen. But that's not just going to affect the Patriots. That's going to affect everyone in the NFL. So I don't think it's not just the Patriots. Everyone's going to be affected by it. So I think that's going to cancel out any of those little things where it's like, oh, not having the preseason is going to affect this team, because it's going to affect the other team as well, because they didn't have it as well. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think down below. Make sure to give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, make sure to ring the bell so you're notified the next time I post a video. Follow me on Instagram, links down below. Also, quick shout out to all you guys who subscribed and watched my last video. I did not think that video was going to get that many views and that many subscribers from you guys, like over 100 subscribers. I really appreciate that support. You know, I really love talking about sports. This is a big passion of mine, and it just really makes me feel, it really helps, it motivates me to want to talk more and more about the stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate the support. You guys don't understand how much it means to me. Yeah, but yeah, guys, I'll see you in another video soon.